Devake Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum. All right, so chapter 2, right? And our verse. Verse 30. Dehi nityam avadhyoyam Dehi nityam avadhyoyam Dehe sarvasya bharata Dehe sarvasya bharata Tasmat sarvani bhutani Tasmat sarvani bhutani Natvam shochitum arhasi Natvam shochitum arhasi O Bharata, this soul residing in the bodies of all can never be slain. Therefore, you should not grieve for any being. That's verse 30 of chapter 3. And Bhagavan Krishna is explaining Arjun about the soul is immortal. What dies, that is body. There's another verse, this also 30, Bhagavan is explaining. But before I take you to that, when I was just starting, although today's class will be a little short, I have to attend one meeting, but I have to share that. Can you believe it is 23 years of Geeta class? Exactly 24th of January 2001. We started.
Hear you.
24th of January 2001. We started. We completed 23 years. 23 years. So, thanks to Bhagavan Lakshminarayan and thanks to all of you. But yes, first thanks go to Bhagavan Lakshminarayan. By his grace, we could continue for 23 years. It's to me, it's really a milestone. To me, I mean, people may say it's a self-praise, but yet it may be self-praise, but it's really gives me good feeling. Otherwise, people are always there to pull the legs. You won't be able to do it. It's the Gita class. Who will be coming there? And on top of that, you want to start on Wednesday. And 23 years back, especially if you're starting in Gujarati. By the grace of Lakshminarayan, we overcome all so-called obstacles. To me, it was not an obstacle because our motto or principle should be to convert obstacle in opportunity. Because Bhagavan has told in Bhagavad Gita, Pratyavayo na vidyate. There is no such thing. So, congratulations to all of you that at least we could achieve that 23 years. We could continue for 23 years. And how many more years that we don't know. But 23 years, that will be written in the history of Bhagwan Lakshminarayan's Mandir in Lenasia. I don't think any other mandir has provided that for good 23 years. So yes, I'm proud for that. But yes, thanks go to you, definitely, because you provided me the platform. Sorry, Indira, you were saying something?
I said thanks to you also because you've also persisted whether we were 2 or 10 in the class.
Yes, yes.
So a big thanks to you.
No. That is a matter of principle I have accepted. Doesn't matter how many people are there, how many members are there or will be there. Show must go on. The show must go on. And by the grace of God, it happened. So yeah, thanks. So that's something I really wanted to share. And it just clicked now before I start the Gita class. Just five minutes back, you can say. So it's a good thing. And yeah, by His grace, we'll continue. Okay. So, and technically, if you remember, we have celebrated the 12 years, which is one tap. One tap is 12 years according to scripture's definition. So next year it will be 24 years. The second tap, two tap will be completed. So anyway, all right. So let's continue. Right. So dehi nityam avadhyoyam dehe sarvasya bharata. What Bhagavan says? The soul residing in bodies of man, God, animal, birds, insects, etc. cannot be slain. It's imperishable. That's why always there is a saying in Gujarati, Atma Amar She. Atma, soul, Amar, immortal. Okay. The term Avadhya, now Avadhya has two meanings. Right? One, that it should not be slain. It should not be slain. And second, it cannot be slain. You got my point. Avadhya, there are two meanings. One is, it should not be slain. And second, it cannot be slain. For example, what we say, a cow should not be killed because it's a deadly sin to kill a cow. That's exactly we Hindu believes. But in case of the soul, it does not mean that it should not be slain, but it means that the soul cannot be slain. Try to understand this. It cannot be slain in any way by anyone. It has also been mentioned, okay, we have seen that in the same chapter, the 17th verse, that none can bring about the destruction of the indestructible substance. One cannot do. So the here meaning is it cannot be slain. Avadhya means it cannot be slain. Not it should not be slain. It cannot be slain. Okay. Tasmat sarvani bhutani natvam shochitum arhasi. Therefore, Bhagavan says, therefore, you should not grieve. Bhagavan keep on saying, you should not grieve for all beings because the soul is indestructible. Only thinking is the body only, not the soul. While the perishable body cannot remain the same even for a moment. It's changing. Here, tasmat sarvani bhutani. They have used the plural number. Plural number, has been used to emphasize the fact that one should not grieve for any living being. That's what Bhagavan says. Okay? The body is perishable because its nurture is such. It is perishing every moment. But the self is imperishable. If this reality is realized, then no grief is possible. So the bottom line, we need to understand, body is not the Atma. Sharir is not the Atma. Okay? So, if at all you kill something, that is the Sharir, the body, not the Shariri. Shariri is Atma, who resides in the body. Okay? In this section, from the 11th to the 13th verse, it is explained that the soul, which is imperishable and real, is different from a body which is perishable and unreal. So we get confused, not really confused, but we just believe that body is self. No. So a body which is perishable and unreal, unless one can discriminate between the soul and the body, one cannot follow any one of the disciplines, either of disinterested action, knowledge or devotion. Not only this, but also one who wants to go to heaven should know the distinction between the two. After the death of a body, who will go to heaven? Therefore, all the philosophers who are believers, in spite of having different opinions about philosophy, agree with the fact that the soul is different from the body. Here, Bhagavan Krishna wants to explain this distinction clearly. So we need to have a firm understanding that body is not me. This is everyone's own experience also, that a body changes from babyhood to youth and then the old age. It's a constant change. It's a constant change. If you remember, I told you that we in our day-to-day practice say that I took the dip in Ganga, say Haridwar or Rishikesh or Varanasi, right? The same Ganga, 40 years back, my father took a dip. For our day-to-day practice understanding, that's fine. Day-to-day conversation, that's fine. But technically, when you put your toe in the river Ganga, that water is different when you take the dip with your head and your full body. Because it's flowing, it's changing. Exactly here also, okay? Because body changes from babyhood to youth, then the old age. But there is an unchangeable one that knows this change. Who knows this change? The self, the Atma, that knows the change. That one is the soul, the Atma. Therefore, the changeable and the unchangeable can never be identified in this section. Bhagavan Krishna has not used a philosophical terminology because people think that philosophy is a subject for study only for all big men. So he has used such words as real and unreal. Because laymen should understand. Number one, laymen should be benefited. And I always tell, and I always told in our Geeta class that if this Geeta is going to be helpful me after my death, that was the point. It might be, we don't know, but it should help me now. It should show me the path now. And that exactly Geeta is doing what is to be done in the life. When you are there, not when you are leaving, when you have left the body or the world. Okay, so such word as real and unreal, the perishable and the imperishable, one who can discriminate between the two, perishable and perishable, real, unreal, is not grieved in the least, while one who merely studies philosophy is grieved. Okay. A man may study the sixth system of philosophy. I mean, today we're not getting the chance, but that's the six systems of philosophy means Shad Darshan. Shad Darshan, the Purva Mimamsa and Uttar Mimamsa, and there are total 6 volumes from our scripture. Maybe we'll one of the days we'll try to discuss little bit on that. Okay, so a man may study the 6 systems of philosophy and may possess knowledge about the absolute, the soul, the nature, and the word, but his knowledge is purely theoretical. On the other hand, a striver or a devotee may be concerned who wants to realize his identity with God. Identity with God means with source, okay, with the root, with God, or who wants to surrender himself to God by renouncing his assumed affinity for Prakriti. Prakriti is nature and the world. His knowledge is practical. Okay, there is a vast difference in these two sorts of knowledge. So theory or the practical, theoretical knowledge or the practical knowledge. Okay, I mean, you can maybe you can get that book How to Swim. Okay, but book is book. It will give us the theory only. Unless you jump in the pool or the river, you won't be getting that. So the Bhagavan Krishna has described this discrimination between the body and possessor of the body. Body means Deha or the Sharira, and possessor of the body is Dehi or Shariri. So the Bhagavan has described this between the Deh and Dehi, body and possessor of the body, from the 11th to the 13th verse. While describing this topic, Bhagavan Krishna has not used philosophical terminology either. Again, that side also, when we have checked that, okay, Bhagavan Krishna has not used philosophical terminology, but he has like Brahma, Jiva, Prakriti, Purush, Jada, Chetan, Maya, Avidya, Atma, Anatma, etc. The reason is that the Bhagavan Krishna, instead of making it subject for study, wants to make it subject for everyone's experience, and wants to prove that every man can discriminate the body from the self. One sentence we must remember, that I am not the body. I am not the body, okay? The possessor of the body is Atma. That is my real nature. Those who are attending the chanting class, in the very beginning we have taken that Atma Satak. Chidananda Rupash Shivoham Shivoham. Name Mrityu Shanka, Name Jati Veda, Pita Naiva Me Matanand. All. So who am I? Chidananda Rupa Shivoham Shivoham. I'm what? I'm the bliss. Okay. I'm the eternal truth. That's me. Okay. So instead of making it a subject for study, wants to make it a subject of everyone's experience, and wants to prove that every man can discriminate the body from the self. It needs no study, no eligibility. If a man applies this discrimination between the real and the unreal of his body, he is striver, he is a seeker, and if he applies it on the world, he is limbed by keeping himself aloof. Yeah, that's another. How can we do that? Okay, by keeping ourselves aloof. If a person discriminates between the real and the unreal, he may become learned by possessing bookish knowledge. What in bookworm, or in Gujarati and Hindi they say kitabi kida. Worm is kida. Okay, by possessing bookish knowledge, but he cannot attain self-realization. But he who discriminates between the real and the unreal in his own body can attain self-realizations. Right? Okay. So for the self-realizations, there cannot be a market. There cannot be a pick and pay. And that's why the word is used, self-realization. It means that discrimination between the real and the unreal in the world is for pedantry, while the Geeta is not for the pedantry. Therefore, Bhagavan, instead of using the philosophical terminology, has used simple words, they and dehi. Not the big word, but of course, in the chapters to come, this kind of words will come. But here, dehi, shariri, body, and self, Atma. Right? The body and its possessor. Those who discriminate between the real and the unreal in the world, they keeping themselves aloof. So how to do that? The answer is that those who discriminate between the real and the unreal in the world, they keeping themselves aloof, make themselves the authority of the knowledge of the Gita. But any person who discriminates the body from the self in him is eligible for self-realization. For self-realization, the discussion of discrimination between the body and the self is useful, and in order to gain living, the discussion of tattva, that divinity, is useful. Therefore, the striver who wants to realize the self, first of all should discriminate his own self from the body. that the body has no connection with the self and the self has no connection with the body. I am not body. He who has assumed the existence and greatness of the body with as much truth, firmness, belief, and doubtlessness should assume the existence and value of the self with the same truth, firmness, belief, and doubtlessness, and should realize the self. Okay. I really wanted to complete this, but it's it's not going to happen today. It's not going to happen today. So there is always another day. So I'm going to conclude that, okay, with the prayer, 73rd verse of 18th chapter. Nashto moha smrutirlabdha tvat prasadan maya chuta sthitosme gata sandeha karishyē vachanam tava.